Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Hello and welcome to the Apex Racing Academy Formula 3 Virtual Racing School Super Series. We are live on Apex Racing TV broadcasting round 4 of the championship, and we are here at Road America. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside me is Austin Knight and the very emotional, I'm sure, Marco Barbanera, who is broadcasting the cameras tonight. Austin, so far a very entertaining championship. There's lots of different winners, a couple of very tight championships as well. We're going back to the 225-minute races tonight, and I'm expecting a lot of slipstreaming, extended races, but I don't think it's going to be easy to pull away from your rivals.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be pretty hard to pull free of this draft that's going to be here out today. It's Road America, long straights, tight corners. There's very high speed corners too, so it's easy to follow. There's not going to be a lot of bunching up and pulling away. The first lap we might see a little bit of that heading into turn 3, which is the tightest corner on circuit. There's a bit of runoff in the air in the ending, but you know, turn 3 is going to be pretty chaotic. If you've done any racing during the week, well, I think all of us noticed. Marco was talking to me about it. It was like playing soccer, soap soccer, which is apparently a thing in Italy where they just douse the entire field in soap and you play soccer in there, and it's just all out chaos. I don't think we're going to be seeing that here, but I shouldn't be saying that subtly, because in all the previous rounds, we've had all out chaos near the starts of this race. So, I probably cursed everybody in the field, but I think we might get away from that standard we've unfortunately had given in the first few rounds.
Well, we have got one less start in order to, well, not exactly in order to do that, but I think it should help. One less start for the drivers. Immediately, Austin, and you are the guru when it comes to rear wings. You can see a rear wing from a mile off and know if it's slightly larger by 1 centimeter or not.
Yeah, Nicholas Rasmussen is using that low downforce. Very little downforce being used on that rear wing right there. He's going to be maximizing the straights. And the first and later parts of the track, he's going to like, but he's going to be struggling in this part compared to somebody like Christopher Herbino, who in this part of the track, you're going to be relying on that downforce right here, especially heading into the carousel. You're able to attack this corner with much more aggression. The car ahead of him, we can compare this right now. Coming out of there, it's a rear downforce difference. We got a low downforce car ahead of Herbino and a higher downforce car of Herbino. And this is where the lower downforce car would have that advantage. But heading into the braking zone with that higher downforce car, you could brake a lot deeper than the car ahead. And heading into Canada corner right now, you're going to have to carry a bit of speed. And then coming through this gate, you don't want that little bit of downforce holding down, because you could get really light. There's a bump on the inside that will upset the car, and then the final corner, it's a very high downforce corner. It's high speed too, but that front straightaway, those lower downforce cars are going to be able to pull away, as our first times are coming across the board right now. Tobias Olsen was that car with that lower downforce, as you see Herbino with that higher downforce out qualifying him just barely by 0.2. So we're going to be seeing a good comparison of cars in qualifying. Either have a qualifying setup that uses a lower downforce, or a race setup that utilizes a more lower downforce as well, to make it more easier to pass on the straightaways. Because we've seen sometimes in qualifying where drivers utilize a lower downforce car in qualifying, but use a higher downforce in the race. They want the car to go as fast as possible. There's no parc ferme in iRacing, which is a good thing, because I find that really stupid.
Yeah, well, let's not go down that avenue, shall we? But there is the option, of course, thanks to iRacing, to keep the same compounded tyres, but everyone, of course, on the same tyres in this car. There's no soft tyres or hard tyres in this machinery.
Or intermediates.
Or intermediates, yes.
Yes.
But,
yes.
Again, let's not go down that river either. Herbino is still 2/10 clear. Also, though, trying to improve. We usually do see the drivers improve on their second and third laps compared to their first lap. They've got as many laps as they like in this 10-minute session. They can opt to come into the pits as well. I imagine a few drivers will do their first 2 laps and then maybe get a new set of tyres. Some will just go throughout. As Olsen was very much pushing the off tracks right there, but you'll know better than anyone where those off tracks are, how far he can push it. It's also very neat and tidy around the final corner.
The off tracks are very lenient here. You'll know when you're off track if you get into grass. Once you get into the grass, that's an off track. But these curves
he seemed
here,
to be on the grass on that occasion, but I think the time
there's the dirt and then the grass. If you're on the green stuff, you're off the track. And you're going to be really off the track, because that green stuff, if you're going through turn off the edge, you're going to be shot out wide. But the curbs here, you can really use them. Now, you will kick up a little bit of dirt, but, you won't get that X. IndyCars here this week. TCRs are here this week. F3s are here this week. It's hard to find a series that is not at Road America this week. And let me tell you, as somebody who loves American motorsports tracks, I'm being heavily biased here. This place is really fun to race on, though I actually have a little hatred towards this track. Though I did get my first IndyCar win ever here on this track a few days ago, so I was very happy about that. And yeah, what a way to do it at one of my worst tracks.
Well, I love this place. Probably top 5 best tracks in the world. Yeah, very pleased that we are visiting it in this series. Of course, this series follows the official series. As you can see, fantastic divide between the pro and the AM drivers. Just Glam sets are upsetting the balance. He was kind of mired in the AM drivers in qualifying, in practice, sorry. So don't fully expect him to necessarily get up into that 12th position. Currently Smith up at the top of the amateurs. He is the championship lead at the moment, but really no one in the pros or the AMs for that matter have had a clean run of races. 3 meetings so far, 8 races, and problems for pretty much everyone, so still everyone's in play for this championship, including this man, Nicholas Rasmussen, who started off extremely well in the championship. Also had a pretty good round last time at Spa, was unlucky not to win a race, but he moves up to 4th place as Olsen crosses the line and he puts a little bit of distance. But Redford goes to the top. He was underperforming just before, 2-time winner already this season, Will Redford, and that is an excellent time for him to go to the top. But Munoz, who was banned from qualifying last time out, he now improves, and well, Austin, these times are just getting faster and faster. That is pretty much going to be it, because we've got less than 2 minutes to go. The drivers will not be able to complete this last lap.
Yeah, the times are below 2 minutes, so, but yeah, they are, some drivers going to still try to go for it, but Munoz was drafting, I believe, Will Redford. Redford was drafting Herberto. Herberto improved on his time. Redford just got slightly there, but the top 3 within 60 thousandths of a second, yeah, it's just insane. And that just shows you how much these people have utilized this track to his advantage in qualifying. And 1 and 2, lower downforce car. The highest downforce car is Christopher Herberto, sitting in 3rd place. But Redford and Jaden Munoz using that lower downforce.
Abel, who had a fantastic Spa round, 2nd place out of the amateur drivers in the championship. Can he put his way up the order? Hasn't set a time so far. Oh, that's an excellent time from Schnabel. Moves up to 11th place, and that is in amongst the pro drivers. So great work there from the German. He put himself under a lot of pressure, but he seems to have delivered. Now Redford might, I don't think he is going to complete this lap, but he'll be close to completing this lap, and yeah, I think he's just going to be short. Munoz back into the pits at the moment, and yeah, 10 seconds to go. Oh,
he's just going to miss it. He's just going to miss it.
He's not going to make it.
Yeah, he's going to be sniped out of existence over the hill. There's a 10-minute mark, and
Olsen did cross the line though. I don't think he moved up the order, but he got within just a 1/10 of a second of pole position.
Yeah, he did improve. Yeah, Olsen did improve his time, but he didn't get in there. Top 4 within a 10th right there. Jaden Munoz starting up on pole, followed by Will Redford. That's your front row right here. They're going to be followed by Christopher Herbert, Tobias Olsen, Sven Newman, Kevin Zwemstra, Nicholas Rasmussen, Carl Winkler, Georgie Zuyen, Jesper Sandstrom, and Leonard Schnabel. And 11 taking pole for the AMs. They're ahead of Justin Negrete in 12th place. Nathan Nicholson, Florian Beer, Aaron Smith, Jack Reeve, Kosov Malashev, Marcel Leclerc, Valashev Potapenko in 19th. Russ Fowler, Andy Moore, Alex Roggenbuck, Christian Glamsetter, and Rickard Bogberg behind them. QT Marteau starting in 25th with Max Giacchino starting right beside him. Max Bartolotta, Jacob Fillmore, Brian Hoffman, Brett Accord, Jay Walsh, Kristen Engelhart, all lined up on the grid. Some of them will be starting from the pit lane.
A lot of them.
A lot of them are. Spa was utter... Sam, how was your weekend over Spa? Was your week a little bit busy?
It was, well, of course, I don't steward the series necessarily, but I saw how many protests were submitted, and there are only 3 of them. However, the stewards do always look at the instance on lap 1, and I think there were about 10 extra added from lap 1 instance.
Oh my gosh.
So, that's interestingly, Marteau, who would have undoubtedly been up on the front 3 rows most likely, he got a penalty himself. In fact, he's got 2 pit lane starts to serve, I think, tonight.
Oh, that's on both races.
Drivers. So yeah, that would be tough for him. He's starting down in 25th place, and from the grid, from the pit, sorry, as we are about to get underway. The 2-minute timer is up, and it's Munoz and Redford for Drive Dead Racing, locking out the front row of the grid the lights are coming on, and 25 minutes of racing at Road America is underway. It's a fantastic start for the front two. They should be able to cover off any attacks from behind. Olsen trying to attack Herbino at the moment, as I think Redford is just pulling ahead. How much will these two fight heading into turn one? Redford swoops around the outside.
Oh, and he's missed the corner!
But he's gone off the track, and I think that's the third time this season that we've seen Olsen lose out from the lead of the race. So it's Munoz who leads the way. Herbino was able to keep past Olsen, despite Olsen having the better launch off the line. But that is dreadful news for Will Redford, and he's down to 27th place.
Yeah, Will Redford just trying to hold it around the outside right there, but just carried too much mustard into the front two right now. Olsen getting past. He's in the draft of Munoz. He's right on that gearbox. Herbino's on the outside. Herbino has a higher downforce as well. Herbino holding around the outside, hooking it around there, able to get past Olsen. We got cars spinning in turn 3s on the inside of the track right there, looking down to the inside as well. Olsen looking down the inside of Munoz. Olsen and Munoz nose tails. They head into turn 5. As that's Schnabel, the amateur leader, looks fairly clean down there. There's a few looks heading down to turn 6. And, oh, around goes Carl Winkler. That's unfortunate right there. Now the first time into the carousel, you can see the different lines. Some drivers like to diamond off the carousel. You can see the Alcatech car of Olsen having a check up right there. Keep that back in a check. And Herbino, who has that higher rear downforce, able to keep it a lot faster through there. He had a check up as well. But Jaden Munoz in that lower downforce car able to pull away, not give up that much draft behind him. And Olsen doing the same thing for Herbino. And these lower downforce cars are going to make these straights a living hell for these higher downforce drivers.
Yeah, it will be tricky to pull up any racecraft really for Herbino, but if he's this close in the draft, he should at least be able to keep up. It was Smith who was spinning down at turn 3, I believe, and Aaron Smith having to tow back to the pits. Also, Jacob Villamore having to tow back to the pits, it seems, as we see Herbino almost bump drafting Olsen.
I think he is bump drafting.
Out, then he'll lose any pace as Munoz with a little bit of a late block there, maybe feel like he was safe, but then the overspeed for Olsen was absolutely huge, and he did have to cover off the inside, did the American, so they're all staying extremely close, maybe a bit of a breakaway for the top 4 bits. Zwemstra is trying to stay close as well. Redford's already back up into 19th position, by the way, and Marte up a couple of places from the pits as well, as here comes Olsen around the outside. This is where he got past Herbino on the last lap, and he's going to try to make the same move for the race lead. Munoz very deep on the brakes. He's sliding about a little bit, but he's got it stopped and should be able to defend heading up the hill into turn 4. So excellent defense there from the American, but battling like this is really going to slow them up.
Yeah, we got side by side Schnabel and Zuyan in a fight for 8th place overall. That's very tight through turn 5. Round the outside, Schnabel able to hold that to 288. The 156, big late dive. That's Negrete with a big dive.
Nicholson.
Yeah, Nicholson on Negrete. That's, yep, thank you for catching that one out. Nathan Nicholson with that move. A few other moves happening down. Brian Hoffman, Carl Winkler, who went off the track in this same corner on lap 1. As Munoz still leading out Olsen. Herbino's getting a good run, but here comes Olsen. Olsen looking down to the inside, heading into Canada corner. Olsen really sending one into Canada corner right there. Tobias Olsen, new leader of the race, followed by Munoz, Herbino, Newman, Zwemstra, your top 5 here. And, 3rd and 4th are all on higher downforce things. They're really going to be, they're going to have to get pretty aggressive in the second sector coming out of turn 3 if they really want a chance to challenge for the lead right now, because these lower downforce cars are just rocket ships down the straights. They can get into the draft, but they can't overtake on the straight because they just pretty much stall out with how much drag that they have on the wings, as Jaden Munoz swings behind that draft and retakes the lead heading into turn 1. Olsen looking down to the inside heading into turn 2. It's not going to be there for then. Just a little run into the short chute, but the top 5, a little bit of separation. Then Sandstrom and Zui. The top 8 are pretty much in this train, and the top 8 are the reverse grid right now. Olsen looking onto the outside of Munoz right now. Heading into turn 3, Herbino taking a advantage line. Herbino might try to get some overspeed right here and get a good run. And they make contact off the exit. Munoz and Olsen. Herbino had a good run opportunity, but there's a little bit of late break right behind. That's Zwemstra. That's Newman. And Zwemstra was getting into getting it together. Sven Newman trying to look down to the inside of Herberto. The lost the rear end. It looked like he actually got tapped in the back right there as Will Redford, from starting up on pole, heading and leading into turn 1, ending up in the gravel pit, is back up into 15th place. We're out on board of Munoz and Olsen. Everybody, these front two on this lower downforce setup, they're just babying these tires through there, as here comes Herberto through there. Herberto right back on the gearbox, but here comes Olsen. Olsen looking down to the inside once again. Munoz very aggressive swoop across track. Herberto can get a good run. He can make a late dive right here, but he's going to call it quits right here. He's not going to try to go it. Very deep dive by Olsen. Munoz trying to go for a switchback opportunity. It's not going to be there right now as they head out of Canada corner and up the hill. As a little bit of loose goes Tobias Olsen right there. He might have hit that little bit of a bump right there, as heading down to turn 1, down that front straight up the hill in that race to turn 1. Olsen, Munoz was able to get the overspeed and the draft heading into turn 1. Olsen diving down to the inside. Munoz going on to the outside. Munoz has the car position. Herberto can actually try to overtake Olsen right here, but that's going to be a very aggressive move. 25-minute races here today, so if you're Herberto or Newman on these higher downforce cars, you're going to have to really think about when you want to send one, because they can easily get you back on those straights.
Yeah, definitely. And so we've now got a lead pack of 6, because Rasmussen very much with those drivers, as Schnabel's actually dropped down to 10th position in all that, as Zwemstra trying to get past Newman. He's been trying this move a couple of times recently, but he can't get it done. Newman with slightly higher downforce, probably a bit vulnerable down the straights. Beer just getting past Reeve as well. Top there in the amateurs currently Schnabel, Reeve and Malishev, with Redford moving his way up through the order, as Olsen with having no interest in overtaking around this part of the circuit. It's absolutely pointless too. We'll just get done on the next straight through the kink and into Canada corner, but this could change very quickly, very soon, and you'll see the blue highlighted names on the left side of the screen on the timing tower. That is how many drivers will be inverted for the second race of the evening. So 8th position will turn into 1st position on the grid for race 2, as Olsen could have moved past Munoz there, but he very much chose not to. Potapenko has had a problem, and he's slipped down the order, and also Brett's a call, I think, just momentarily going off the circuit. This was what happened to Potapenko. He's actually got a car rejoining the circuit ahead of him, the 216.
Oh, did they make contact?
To move past and made contact, so that was with Jay Walsh. He had gone off the circuit just a couple of corners prior.
You hate to see that one. That was like the most unfortunate one. You got a slow car, you go around the outside, hope they give room. They miss the apex, and they just drift wide into you. And that's the one you're just like, come on. No. There's contact in the back, and around goes Nicholson off into the kitty litter.
He just set the fast start of the race at Nicholson as well.
I
mean, it was very quickly beaten by Redford, but he was absolutely flying along Nicholson. Clearly got a very good tie on that previous lap. And if anything, I think it's Nicholson's fault. He kind of just moved across a bit to the left when he really didn't.
Wasn't clear. Side by side in a turn 1 on Road America is always a dangerous thing. I was watching the Scott Dixon Aaron Smith plows into the back of there. That's just a blind corner. Aaron Smith did not know that he was going to be there. There's nothing avoiding that. Let's ride on board of Aaron Smith right now. No idea that there's a car. He sees the car coming back on track. He's already committed. Just unfortunately, that's when you have something like that. When you're rejoining the track, you always got to look at F3. Hit F3. Look at that relative. That's what it's there for. Or else you're going to have stuff like that. And Aaron Smith is probably angrily saying stuff about F3. And if I was Aaron Smith, I would be chewing him out.
Well, I will say as well, the Jazz were reminded after a couple of incidents in previous weeks about to remember the F3, but clearly went out the window on that occasion, as Olsen moving back past Munoz. He's run a little bit wide, but he needs to be a bit careful there. Olsen, don't want to dip a wheel onto the gravel around that part of the circuit. Could send you sliding down the train. They have dropped Zwemstra a little bit. they've really been battling Zwemstra and Rasmussen. They've lost touch with these top 4. Still a long way to go in this race. We've still got another 15 minutes. And it's very good showing that they haven't collided at least this front pack, as Beer has had a problem. Has he gone up at the final corner? He has.
Beer's just
on
so
the 129, dropping 2 places as Munoz is back past Olsen again. I'm not sure why they're fighting like this, if I'm honest, Austin. They're staying top 2. I don't know why they're so desperate to have track position when they're losing it on the straight after.
It's sometimes a, if you don't fight with each other, the higher downforce cars can really work together and get that fight. They're blocking off the track as well, but it's also sometimes an ego thing. It's like, I'm faster than you. I want to lead the race. No, I want to lead the race. Herberto and Newman, they're on the higher downforce cars. They're letting these two fight it off right now, but later on in this race, when we hit that 20-minute mark, we're going to start seeing Herberto or Newman. I think Sven Newman's getting a little bit antsy back there. But, you know, when you just try to play it safe and you just giggle around with your buddies, you two are having a little bit of fun. I believe they're just having a little bit of fun with each other, not really racing each other extremely hard. As I think Munoz just let him by.
Well, he seemed a bit wide coming out of the left-hander.
This is going to be a run for Munoz now. Oh, yeah, I know what Munoz is doing.
Lift out of this through,
no, he's not. You don't have to lift. You don't have to lift.
Line and,
you don't have to lift at all. As Munoz, a lot of speed. Also defending onto the inside. Here comes Herberto. Herberto on the gearbox right there. Laid onto the brakes. Olsen defending it. Here comes Herberto trying to sneak his way into second place right there. That higher downforce car can break so much later. They're side by side once more, Munoz and Herberto. But Munoz able to stay ahead of Herberto. Herberto really trying one right there. Jack Reeve went through a little trip of the Canada corner gravel trap right there. But that little looked like Herberto might have, it did give Olsen a little bit of a gap to work with.
Yep, but still very much within the draft range. Munoz, as they stop battling for a little bit, should be able to catch back up, as Marte's surprisingly only 13 seconds off the lead, which is not a big margin, considering that he started from the pit, shows his pace and shows the fighting up ahead of him as well. And he's very soon going to be past Florian B, who's already had an off-track excursion. Jack Reeve actually just making that move on Florian B, so excellent work there from Reeve. In fact, actually, I say that, I think that was Reeve defending from Beer, because Beer was actually 2 seconds faster on that last lap. Marteau is going to get past one of them, and boy, we'll get past the other soon, as Herberto has nipped it up the inside of Munoz. This is the part of the circuit, of course, where he is very quick, and well, he's had enough time being in P3. He wants to move up into the lead, as we see Marteau completing those 2 moves. He's up into 12th place, and he just needs a few instants ahead of them, and he could still get reverse grid pole.
Absolutely, and Herberto in that second place. That is great news if you're Tobias Olsen, because Herberto, he's not going to have that top speed, and Olsen is not going to be fighting with Munoz now. So that's going to be creating a little bit of a gap right there. And Munoz, Jaden Munoz, is going to be very aggressive, trying to get back onto Herberto. Herberto defending onto the inside. Munoz going onto the outside, heading into Canada corner. But Herberto can break so much a little bit later than Jaden Munoz. But, you know, as they're now fighting, they don't have that top speed to stay within the draft of Olsen. Olsen pulled out a second gap on these two. It was a little bit of a selfish move by Herberto to go for this move, but, you know, Tobias Olsen, he was thankful that had happened right there, as Herberto's now in the draft of that lap car of Jacob Fillmore. Fillmore going on to the inside. Munoz going on to the outside. They're side by side for second place. Almost side by side. They were 3 wide for a little bit. Munoz side by side into turn 1. Oh, Jacob Fillmore. Wrong place, wrong time right there. And he's not really letting up. You don't really have to. But he just came out right ahead of Sandstrom, heading into turn 2. Sandstrom's probably just like, why are you there? But, man, that was craziness. Speaking of craziness, Will Redford off the track again, but Will Redford setting the fastest lap last time by and able to get up to 10th place after going off in the lead at turn 1. Speaking of going off the track, that is Munoz going wide, and here comes Sven Newman. Newman going down to the inside. and he's able to slip through the crack. Newman to Hermano on these higher downforce cars, not torturing these tires as much as the lower downforce cars in these corners, but here comes Munoz. Very aggressive defense by Newman. Munoz aggressive on the attack, went for the inside look, now look for that outside look, and now Munoz, he's setting himself up, going extremely wide. He's going to diamond off that final part of the carousel right now, but this is where Newman's going to stretch out his legs in the exit of that corner. He's able to carry all the momentum, but here comes Munoz. Munoz in that pocket of draft by that higher downforce car, able to swing it around the outside. He's already cleared him, heading way before the braking zone. Sven Newman defending onto the inside from Rasmussen behind him, but Munoz back into third place after that mistake into turn 3.
Quite a few mistakes for Munoz recently, and it has cost him quite dearly. And now the top two well clear. I mean, Munoz 3 seconds off the lead after leading just a couple of laps per. Herbino just outside the draft range, or maybe pick up a small draft of Olsen, but he's really going to have to make up that gap if he can via pure pace. As Neiman, despite running that high downforce, he's still got a lot of toe, but he's not going to try to overtake here. Probably going into turn 4 is going to be his best chance in the sector, where he is a lot stronger, and Rasmussen still glued with Wemstret. Those two have been tied to one another for the entire race, and actually Zuayen is very much with that battle now. He is a very close 8th place. Here is our amateur race leader, who managed to win all 3 races, actually back at Spa as well in the amateur category, so this would be 4 on the trot for him, which would be particularly impressive. Beats his main rival Aaron Smith out of the race after a spin on lap 1, and then a collision with a car rejoining the track.
Nathan Nicholson rejoining.
Yeah, Nathan Nicholson.
Olsen's
off the second pole
leader of the race at turn 5.
Leads the race now, and Olsen is the second leader of the day to go off the circuit, and he's dropped even behind Munoz as well, and Herbino surely gifted a race win here a few days before Christmas.
He's gifted a race lead, not a race win. As we go to that replay, Tobias Olsen in that lower downforce car. That's the risk of running a lower downforce car. You aren't going to have enough grip to keep the tires alive through there. And at turn 5, this is all by himself. He's got Herbino behind him, but heading into turn 4, underneath the Corvette bridge, he gets a little bit squirrely right there, got into the grass and went a little bit wide and kept it around the outside. Somehow kept it out of the walls. Tobias Olsen doing a wonderful job of showing how to control the car off the track. You should really look at a rallycross as a potential interest, because that was some beautiful car control off the track right there. But yeah, turn 4 underneath that Corvette bridge is so easy just to go a little bit too much, because you're going over a hill, it's a blind corner, and you just want to take it much faster than you actually do. I get this, I've done it so many times in IndyCar where you just want to push it a little bit more, you dip the wheel off the track, and then everything goes sideways, upside down, inside out, around again, and you're losing time. And Olsen down in a third, but that fight between them, they're going to be able to catch back up to Herbino now on that front straight if they work together. Look at the 4 cars right here: Munoz, Olsen, Rasmussen, and Zenstra, all on that lower downforce. Newman looking down to the inside of the 2 teammates. Rasmussen and Zenstra able to hold him off right there. 4th and 5th right now. They're going to try to catch up to their teammate. It is, oh, look at that late move. Newman looking down to the inside, but now it's Slemcher looking down to the inside of Newman. And, the Alcatech NHR team, after a 1-2-3 at the last race at Spa, they're going to definitely be looking for another great, strong team performance right here. Fight as well for 7th place, Sandstrom and Zuian in 7th and 8th. Jesper Sandstrom, the last of the transition spots for our reverse grid. We are closing down on 5 minutes to go. That's about 2 to 3 laps left here at Road America. It's a very long circuit, so we got not that many laps left, but we still got a lot of racing left right here. Zwemstra getting ahead of Newman. Newman on that higher downforce, unable to keep that speed. Heading into Canada quarter, Zwemstra back into 5th behind his teammate in 4th, who is also behind his teammate in 3rd. And they're certainly going to be working together and try to get past Munoz and try to catch up to Herbino. They just have to not fight with each other because right now it's just a battle of setups and, you know, just trying to keep these cars alive. Newman in the draft, buried on that gearbox of Zwemstra, and you know, he could pull out right here, look down the inside, but now he's stalled out. That higher downforce is not going to work. It's only going to be working in the brake zone. Will Redford, pole position, back into ninth. Went, well, not pole, second, started on the front row. Went wide heading into turn one. Dropped all the way down to 26. He is back into ninth place. QT Marteau, currently biggest mover, but the driver of the day, I would have to say, Will Redford for the recovery of the day.
Yeah, he managed to do it at Spa, of course, when he spun from the lead.
Oh, that is a danger dive!
And he has taken out, that was Zoyan and Zwemstra, who Clyde Redford managed to get through all of it. Really bad news there for Zwemstra, who I think was the one completely innocent in all of that. And here was the move from Zoyan. He's tried to go down the inside of one car. And this is another thing the drivers were warned about beforehand. And they've all gone for the move on one another, so they're all relative braking to one another. A little bit braking than you. He's a little bit late. He's braking slightly later than the next driver, and they all managed to collude on the apex at turn 3. So it means that Schnabel is up into reverse grid pole, and that does promote Martel as well up a couple more places. He is dangerously close now to that reverse grid pole. Yeah, great news for Redford, who makes those couple of moves very easily. Swims just down into 12th place, but surely with damage, I'll have to go back to the pits. So yeah, awful news for those drivers. As yeah, Swims just continues to drop places. He's now behind Florian Beer. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Zuai,
Oh yeah, he's all over the place.
Front right tire is pointed a different direction than everything else. That's an unnatural camber on that car, so he's definitely getting a meatball right there. I'm surprised he was really pushing that hard with that damage. Didn't cause another crash, but Zuayan back into the pits after, well, throwing down a bomb into turn 3, and yeah, that's somebody might be calling the authorities. That was a murder.
2 laps to go after. No, 1 lap to go after this one, and Marteau is 3 seconds behind Schnabel. On that last lap, he caught by 1.8 seconds. So it's going to be very close for a reverse grid pole, as Olsen is up the inside of Munoz. I'm sure this is going to change many more times from now to the end of the race. These guys were, at least for the first probably 10 minutes of this race, constantly changing places out in the lead. But, well, they both made mistakes, which have cost them in relation to Herbanet, who is way up the road at the moment. But Olsen temporarily up into 2nd place, but, well, it's almost inevitable that the American will be able to slipstream his way past into Canada Corner.
Olsen's very, I believe Olsen might be a little bit calmer on his tires, but he's been, from what we've seen earlier, he's been very good on the brakes compared to Munoz. Munoz gets a little bit aggressive heading into Canada Corner, and Olsen was able to hold him out. Here comes Munoz. I think Munoz is just a little bit farther back. He's not going to be there with Olsen heading into Canada Corner, but next lap he certainly will be. Will Redford looking down the inside, looking for Sandstrom right there. Sandstrom goes around into Will Redford. Nothing goes right for Will Redford into Canada Corner. He's picked up wing damage right now and getting around in that Schnabel. Schnabel looking for 6th place. Will Redford, oh, thank iRacing damaged the Lords. Praise be netcode. And praise be
into reverse grid pole now.
New damage
Marteau's off the track, but he's got away with it. And Sandstrom had to come into the pit, so too much damage for Sandstrom. He'll be furious with that one. He started in 10th place, did well to move up a few positions, and yeah, loses it all with a late race mistake that will send him tumbling down the auto and will affect his grid position for race 2. Munoz back ahead of Olsen once again, so he was able to get past his Glamsetter. Is the next to take an excursion off the track. Let's see what happens to Glamsetter on this one.
Christian Glamsetter for Crips Racing. Heading into that final corner. Does he just gets onto the inside curve? Big bump right there. A little bit of air time. That's not the road course. That's a rallycross circuit. And, you know, that is not a very good back massage. That slow-mo brought to you by the wonderful, the one, the only Marco Barbanera. Thank you for that.
I was about to say, we're going to miss that type of
nobody
direction.
brings
That was excellent.
Nobody brings that. That was beautiful, Marco.
Olsen now with probably one more attempt to get
It's
past
white
Munoz,
flag.
trying to turn it in. This is probably going to be good enough for Olsen. Similar amounts of wing for these two guys. He should be able to get alongside heading into Canada
he's
corner.
calculating
Way
this
up
one.
ahead is Herbno, 3.5 seconds. But here comes Olsen. He's got the overspeed. He's going to have the outside line. Munoz has been the latest of anyone on the brakes all day long, and there is no exception into Canada corner this time. Manages to get stopped quite easily though. Still opportunities for Olsen. He could dive it down the inside into the final corner. He could get the run out to the final corner as well, so Munoz can't afford to sacrifice his exit too much, as here comes the Swedish driver up the inside. It's going to be a run to the line between the pair. Then Munoz moving ahead. Herbno is going to get another race win for Delta Sport. The Belgian wins here at Road America. Munoz does beat Olsen in a fantastic duel between the two of them, and Rasmussen just behind in 4th place. Schnabel is going to get his 4th consecutive amateur class win and a front row start for the reverse grid. And Marteau from the pits manages to move up into 8th position. He had to have some luck on the way, but he does manage to finish in 8th place and will be your pole sitter for race 2. As the main drivers come across the line, Reeve and Malishev, the 2 other drivers on the amateur class podium.
Doesn't Marteau have a pit lane start for race 2 though?
Oh, I think you got a good point, yeah.
Yeah, you
I will
said it.
double check, but I did say that earlier on.
Yeah, so Marteau will be starting for the pits. Would that give Schnabel the pole position then?
It should do, yep.
All right,
Schnabel does not.
Yeah, because it would just be an empty spot because it doesn't move up and down. This isn't a fluid system. It's just going to be an empty spot on pole. So Schnabel, in a very rare instance, the outside car will be starting up on pole. Then it will be Redford, Newman, Rasmussen, Olsen, Munoz, and Herbno. And Herbno, well, yeah, as you said, he got his Christmas gift early, a race win here at Road America with the 2 cars that were ahead of him going off the track right there. We're still waiting for a few cars to go off to come across the line right there, and a few of these guys have already made pit stops today. They've all had a tough race. Ricker Boberg, that 204, getting across there, and 24th. The last car on track is Potapenko, and very unfortunate day for them.
Yeah, I think just before we go to the results, whilst Potapenko is crossing the line, I think we'll go to an advertisement break here on Apex Racing TV whilst the drivers are having a 5-minute cooldown. So we'll be back with you in just a few moments' time. Welcome back to the Apex Racing Academy Formula 3 Virtual Racing School Super Series. We are currently in a break between the two races. Race 1 was very entertaining. Lead battle throughout and a very action-packed fight for reverse grid pole. I believe you were just watching an advertisement for SDK Gaming. A huge thanks to them for sponsoring this series. Of course, they provide our overlay and also our live timing. We can also sync up our cameras as well to whatever Marco directs us to, which is a fantastic use. It can also be used as a heads-up display for whilst you are driving as well. So do check out sdk-gaming.co.uk in order to get more details on the products that they provide. Here was the results from race 1. It was Herbino who managed to win it by 4.2 seconds. Doesn't tell half the story. He didn't lead for most of the race, did Herbino, but whilst others were making mistakes, he was absolutely faultless, and the Belgian driver continuing that good form from Red Bull Ring at round 1, where he managed to win both races. Munoz was in second place, then it was Olsen, Rasmussen, Newman, Redford, after dropping outside the top 20, moved up to 6th place. Schnabel with another amateur class win, that puts him to the top of the amateur class championship. Kai Thiago Marteau was in 8th position and would have got reverse grid pole, but he has got another pit lane starts to serve, so it'll actually be Schnabel from pole position. Justin Negretti was in 9th position, then it was Florian Beer, Jack Reeve did very well in the amateur category, Carl Winkler, Max Giacchine, Kostas Malishev, Kevin Zwemstra, Christian Glamsetter, Brian Hotham, Marcel Leclerc. And in 19th place was Briette Cord, Russ Fowler, Jesper Sandström, Alex Roggenbuck, Andy Moore, Ricard Boberg, Vyacheslav Potapenko in 25th, and the remaining drivers, everyone finished. Good work. No, they didn't all finish, my bad. No, Walsh, Villamore, Zoyan. 28 cars finished, but if we scroll a bit further down, there were other drivers who did not finish. There you go. Bartolots have finished as well, but Nicholson, Smith and Engelhardt all did not reach the checkered flag. A few more seconds to go. In what we were just predicting, Austin, who's going to win this one. You were very much for Will Redford to win this one. I think he's probably the favourite. Let us know what you think in the chat. But I think he'll need to make a break for it in the first lap. If he's not a second clear after lap 1, I can't see him getting away from the rest.
Now, it's not going to be an immediate first lap jump up in there. He will be up near the start, but it's going to take a little bit of a while for Redford. But what I believe might happen is, Olsen, there might be a little bit of aggression behind Redford at the start, as it's going to be Schnabel and Redford on that front row, because QT Marteau, yes, he does have the pole, but he has to start from the pit lane due to his penalty. So Marteau will be starting from the pit lane. Schnabel will be starting up on pole. Will Redford will be starting in the row behind him, but technically the front row. But it's going to be a Lewis Hamilton situation, just starting up on the grid by himself for Schnabel. Then the second row of Will Redford, Sven Newman, Rasmussen, Olsen, Munoz, and Herbino. Herbino race 1 winner. He will be slowly picking his way through the grid, but I believe what might happen is Redford's going to be able to get Schnabel, and then Sven Newman and Schnabel might start fighting behind them and create that gap for Redford just to put down those laps, because we've seen the pace that Redford had to regain it. That's what I'm banking on, just his pace and knowledge of this track. He is on that lower downforce, so he will be very fast on this opening lap compared to the higher downforce cars around him. We're going to find out. Final race of the day here at Road America. 25 minutes is green, and here we go. What a start by Sven Newman, but Sven Newman spun the tires and bought a big gap. We got a car overtaking in the grass right there as Tobias Olsen, the 3 wide, heading into turn 1. Redford immediately getting Schnabel right there. Redford leading in this race into turn 1, and he makes the corner this time. That was a little bit mean.
But Rasmussen with an excellent start. We've got a couple of jars off that is Marteau was one of, no, it wasn't Marteau. Zuayan was certainly one of them. I think it was Marteau actually. Gachine and Roggenbach as well, all struggling across. As Schnabel is going to try to overtake Redford. This is not exactly what Redford needs. Excellent start for Rasmussen, like I was saying before. Olsen as well, up one position, as now Redford just has to cover up that inside, losing him a little bit of time. It's 2 wide, further back 3 wide even. I think that was that may have been Herbinite really just sprinting up ahead of those drivers, as Newman is trying to get past Olsen. Olsen was able to make that move earlier on, but he is fighting super hard at the moment, is Newman, and he's able to get back past. Herbinite is right with these drivers as well. Yeah, very exciting stuff on the first half.
Yeah, big lock by the 251 right there, getting off the track. That's Brett Accord as Tiago Marteau able to swing around. The Nicholson getting spun around as well, heading into turn 6 as they go through the carousel right now. Redford and Schnabel. Redford, that lower down for Schnabel. We saw what happened heading into turn 3. Schnabel able to get into that clean air, but as soon as he did it, Redford's just able to just stay out there. So Redford, he is, well, he's in the spot where he needs to be, just in that clean air, using that lower downforce. He's got a higher downforce car behind him, and then it's Nicholas Rasmussen right behind him. And then we got a big crash in the background. That's Malashev in the wall. Zwemstro spun around. We got another car in the Canada corner. More contact happening right there. More cars colliding into them. Oh my gosh, he's finally got towed out there, but for a while it just seemed like he was an ice cube caught in a blender right there, and somebody who's trying to make a smoothie. Just an absolute pileup of cars. We got one in Canada corner, and that was Zuayan getting into there. And you can see he's just getting knocked around, and oh my gosh. Oh, that is, those situations are definitely not what you want to see. It's Max Bartolota looking down the inside, heading in Canada corner. Big Rooney into there. Too much, well, too confident into the brakes. Then the brakes just said, nah, fam, I'm out of here. Into the kitty litter and then into the tires, and the tires went walking home, and you know, they're looking for new brake pads for Christmas. Marco,
yeah, just out in the background, wasn't it, of the shot? A few drivers involved. Gachine was one of the drivers who, or I think was the last driver to make contact. He served on the pits to Gachine. I think he's got away with it though. I don't think he had too much damage, at least from what I could see. Would be very lucky if he did get away with it. So yeah, plenty of drivers back to the pits on lap 1, and in fact Gachine did he? Yeah, I think he did come into the pit.
He had to go into the pits.
Yeah, or he started from the pit now. I'm not quite sure which iRacing is registering there. As Newman is, well, Olsen back past Newman then. But
Marteau's had an incident. Marteau!
ARL veterans, as Marteau's off at the carousel, and that is some of his good work undone. Wow, he's lost a lot of places, I think, there as Marteau. I think he was up into about 12th position or so.
No, he just lost 2. He didn't lose that many spots. He was up into 15th, so I believe that was the highest he was. No, I don't even think it was 15th. I think it was just up into about, yeah, he was just, he was in this pack. There's Tiago Marteau, looking onto the inside right here, and he's down this, well, fighting over for Bobberg right now. So we go up to 5th place in the battle for 4th, Olsen and Newman. Newman, higher downforce, and, you know, he's just going to have to sit behind there and just try to fight it. Redford, fastest lap of the race, pulling away from Schnabel. Schnabel, well, really provided that defensive edge for Will Redford. This might be a great race for both of them. Rasmussen, he needs to get into that pocket of draft that Schnabel is putting up there. He's going to be faster in the straight line, but Rasmussen, he's losing all that time in that dirty air behind Schnabel. Now, these lower downforce wings are more focused on mechanical grip than the aerodynamic grip, but it's still going to be affecting those tires more. And, you know, dirty air still is going to affect that. Marteau, well, he's on that higher downforce, but it's certainly not hurting him at all. He's able to make these moves with confidence right now. Looking down the inside, big send by Tiago Marteau up in a 19th as Max Giacchino. You know, both of them had qualifying bans, and Giacchino, well, I believe also had one as well for this round. So they both started around each other in both races. So, you know, we got a little pocket of pros down there who were a little bit naughty in Spa. As Leclerc fallen down to 16th. Yeah, 17th
That's not
now.
good for the Puerto Rican. Yeah, down to 17th.
I do not believe it's a Puerto Rican flag.
Apologies, he's not Puerto Rican. He's from another nation.
That is way off for the Puerto Rican flag.
I don't know why I thought it was. I'll go to the entry list in a little bit. As Dominican Republic. Okay, that's not that far.
It's not that far, but it is not. The Puerto Rican flag, it often gets confused for the Texas flag. Sad. That's how I know that one, because I've accidentally done it by mistake. When I was younger. Chile.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm even wrong. It looks a lot better than other flags. I do have to say that.
Oh, this is absolutely epic battle. I was about to say how the battle out in the front for the podium places is very good, but this is good as well, as that is Nicholson.
Oh no!
Nicholson's been in the wars tonight, as that is a spin, and Bozo's gonna collect again. Oh man, I think that'll be the end of Caccino's day. They've both still got their faster pairs available, but he will probably just tow back, and Boberg is somehow still going. He's missing most of the bodywork on that car, but he wants to get back to the pits. Will be a bit faster than towing back. But geez, that is crazy how that car is still going.
Well, any fans of the IGB Fun series would understand Marco's and my joke of Italian rear wings in these cars. Well, this ain't an Italian rear wing. It's an Italian engine-covered rear wing and back suspension.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, no, that is just a mistake. That's tight right there. Rasmussen almost dodging a bullet right there. Well, did dodge a bullet. Olsen down to the inside. Olsen back into third place ahead of his teammate behind Schnabel. And Olsen now looking for that charge on Will Redford. Redford able to get 2.4 seconds ahead of second place and Schnabel. But is this enough already for Will Redford? They're all on the same downforce package. New fastest lap by Will Redford. And Redford has got to keep this in control as Hermano, well, pretty much sees part for him right there as Newman went down to the inside, but Hermano around the outside, side by side. Is that Newman able to stay right there? Side by side through turn 1 is pretty scary. Side by side through turn 2 is even scarier. But man, able to do that around Road America now in an Indy car that is insanely rare to see. And these Formula 3 cars are a lot smaller. So they can do that with a little bit more ease, but it's still impressive to see. Hermano getting the better exit, able to get ahead. And look who's behind him. Munoz trying to get a little bit of speed on them as well, but unable to capitalize off of that. Hermano up into 5th. Schnabel falls down to 4th place as Olsen and Rasmussen able to get up into 2nd to 3rd. This is Smith and Fillmore going side by side heading into turn 3. Aaron Smith trying to hold it around the outside, and he does hold it around the outside right there. They're going to go side by side underneath the Corvette bridge. Aaron Smith around the outside, but he had that inside line open. That's going to allow Fillmore to get a little bit charged back. Aaron Smith is sneaking his way down to the inside right there, up into 14th. Up back into our fight for 3rd. Rasmussen, Hermano, Schnabel, and Newman. Newman onto the back of Schnabel right here. The amateur driver in the middle of all this scrapping and squabbling and battling as well. Just able to stay with it. We're going to go 3 wide right here. Here comes Munoz onto the back of Schnabel. Munoz getting onto the brakes right there. Sven Newman side by side with Munoz. Newman able to get there. Schnabel going back into 4th place. He got an overtake. He got the switchback opportunity on Hermano. Hermano falling down spaces to Newman. Newman around to the inside off the exit. And here comes Munoz off the exit getting Hermano now. This is awesome racing right here. Hermano onto the back of Munoz right now. Munoz going to try to freight train his way onto the back of Sven Newman. And Hermano is going to try to follow Munoz as best as he can. Here goes Sven Newman looking down to the inside. Here comes Munoz looking down to the middle. He's going to try to shoot the moon right there. He thought about it, decided 3 wides. Not the time to go there. We're still 10 minutes into this race right now. Hermano and Munoz as Schnabel drops out of the back of this fight. He realizes that he's an amateur in a pro fight, and you got the lead by 5 spots, Jack Reeve, right now. This is absolutely crazy, crazy race.
Yeah, it really is. And Schneider, I think, doing the wise thing at letting those guys pass, knows that he's still going to get some good points. As someone on the chat saying, Sandstrom, good drive. Well, I think he is having a good drive. He's up into 8th place. He's up 13 places from his race starts. Is the Swedish driver, drove for Ignium Motorsports. Quick shout out, by the way, to one of the title sponsors for this series, Apex Racing Academy. Apex Racing Academy offering 29 data packs, including data packs for this Formula 3 car as well, but also for prototypes, GTs, the 2 of the new touring cars, the Honda and the Hyundai, and also rallycross cars as well, along with a bunch of others as well. So if you want to get better on iRacing, then take advantage of Apex Racing Academy's setups, chat guides, and also coaching sessions as well. And thanks to them, there's a huge crash for Roggenbach. He dismantles that car into 1,000 pieces. My goodness, there's nothing left of it right there. And, well, this will be great to watch.
Munoz and Herberto. Munoz and Herberto might have had an incident. That's a massive crash. Schnabel involved in there. It's chaos coming out of Canada corner. We got cars. It looks like a junk field out there. Where's Alessandro Dalladone when you need him with Jeb's junkyard or something? Let's ride on board of Schnabel to see what happens up here. This all started with Munoz. Yeah, Munoz and Herberto getting into each other. Munoz, hooking Herberto, and then there's a big lockup by Schnabel, but he gets turned around, and oh my gosh! Oh no! Oh no! Well, whoever said Sancho was having a good race, you just chat cursed to him. Oh my gosh! Well.
And then it was Nugretti who was trying to get his way past.
Well, it's like somebody has snuck one of those Hollywood stunt crash air canisters in the front of that car, because it just exploded right there. As that's Jack Reeve being promoted to the top of the AMS, and in 6th place too. So Jack Reeve, surprise up there, and Schnabel's teammate. So they're definitely working together, and I think they're also working with Aaron Smith as well.
Yep, they sure. That's a very strong team in the AMSs. Wouldn't be surprised if that's the 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure if Schnabel is the same team, however. I think they've just got similar liveries.
They might be the same livery, but they definitely they black and green. They definitely work together. But oh my gosh, he is the teammate to Aaron Smith. I know that one. If Schnabel's back on the track, we'll be able to see. But he is back on track.
Yeah, just needs to pick up that faster pair. I think was able.
He's not.
Stay back because that was a huge crash. But managing to do all right there. As Nicholson, it's a little bit of a late move there from Nicholson. Needs to be careful. Was lucky that Smith wasn't any later on the brakes. This is not too bad a race in the end for Smith. They're both up 19 places actually. Are these two drivers? They actually collided, of course, at turn 1 in race 1, when Nicholson tries to rejoin the circuit. But
we're getting word that we're getting word that Lennart Schnabel's team is a real-life racing team. So that one's unfortunate. But it's great to see more real-life racing teams. WS Racing, WS Esports. Getting into sim racing as well, and having a sim racing division and a real life racing division. That's really cool to see out there. And Marco, that is an amazing spot. As this is Marteau looking down the inside, looking down the outside, looking back down to the inside. It's a shuffling of positions heading into turn 3. That's a late look right there. There's contact. Aaron Smith looked out to the inside, and Nicholson is upside down, turtling the Delta Sport driver. They were both squabbling for spots right there, and Aaron Smith looked down to the inside. Then Nicholson tried to defend the inside, but he was already down there. And there goes Nicholson down to the inside. And then he defends onto the outside, and then he decides to close it back down to the inside again, and BAM!
I think that was... I think they were particularly aggressive with one another considering what happened earlier on.
They're both very aggressive on that straightaway, but, you know, you gotta leave the space, but also they were looking down the inside. They're also looking down the outside. They're also looking down the inside. They're looking through the middle as well, and you know, you get that. And we're in the final 10 minutes, so it's completely understandable that something like that can happen. As this is Zuian, and they've had a rough day. Georgie's had a rough day. Race 1, pretty rough. Race 2, yeah, rough as well. As they're looking down the inside now, getting past Malashev, the Canadian, into turn 3, and he's made that position easy as pie.
Yeah, those guys nearly a lap down actually on the race leaders. Got a few retirees. In fact, Potter Penko, credit to him, he's back out on track. He's only on his 3rd lap of the race, but he is not giving up. He's trying to keep on racing out there. Shouts out to Apex Racing League as well. This is an Apex Racing League series, but this isn't the only series. Apex Racing League 2. So in the new year, we'll have a Master Series on a Monday. Entries are open for the GT3 Pro Series, open to anyone with an iRating of 2.4 thousand or above. And then on the Wednesday, we've got the Porsche Cup Pro, open to drivers with 2.8k or over. And then on Thursdays, we've got the Apex Racing League Touring Car Britain Championship, using all the TCR cars, the Hyundai, the Honda, and the Audi. On Friday, we've got the Prototype Championship, the P2s and the P1s. And of course, on Saturday, we've got this car, and actually on Sundays as well soon, we're going to have the GTE cars make their return. So if you go to apexracingleague.com, you can see what series are currently available. And if you also click on the link to the Discord server in the description below, you can find any new announcements for new series being released. As Negretti storms up the inside of Reeve, that was a very good effort to get that one stopped. He was locked up, he was shaking about, but he was able to move into 6th place, and Beer will most likely be soon past Jack Reeve as well.
Alex Roggenbuck, a little bit of an incident coming out of turn 3, able to get that settled. Down in 25th, Jack Reeve and Florian Beer. Beer is going to go past him, and he's going to say a little bit of a cheers right there. Not going to be putting up a big fight, is Jack Reeve, but he's just going to sit behind Beer and stay with him and stay in his draft, as Jack Reeve, his nearest competitor, Hoffman, is 4 seconds behind him. So, you know, the less time, you know, holding the cars around you up in a big fight, the more chances that you have for the win in the Amateur Championship. And it's a good race by Jack Reeve today. Great race by him.
Oh, for sure. Yep, he will be the highest point scorer in the amateur category. So, yeah, really good work for him, as Marteau is going to soon be past Smith. Now, Smith running, well, they're both running a decent amount of downforce, actually. And Marteau actually having to dip back into the draft. He can't quite get this one done. I wonder if he's... Oh, no, Smith now picking way too late. He was on the limit on the previous lap. That time he pushed it even further, and he drops behind the Dutch driver, the two-time defending champion, of course, Kai Thiago Marteau. But, well, it's not been a good start to the season for him. Missed round 1 of the championship, was a late sign-up to the series. The other 2 rounds haven't been particularly good for him, and then tonight, of course, those 2 pit lane starts really wrecking any opportunities he had at a good result. So, wow, he's going to need some spectacular end to the season, or second half of the season, for Marteau, if he's going to take his 3rd consecutive crown, which has never been achieved in Apex Racing League history.
Yeah, it's definitely cool to see returning champions, back-to-back champions in ARL, and once more, it's great to see Smith and Marteau. We just got off this fight where they're fighting again. Smith getting past Marteau now. Aaron Smith and the 2-time Apex Racing League Formula 3 champion, well, fighting with each other. And, you know, this is a big statement by Aaron Smith. An amateur driver and a pro driver fighting within each other. It's totally legal to do this, too. Marteau might be slightly annoyed, but Aaron Smith, I can tell you, he's got a big smile on his face from that. Marteau going on to the outside, side by side. 5 minutes remaining here at Road America. And Aaron Smith defending very beautifully on Thiago Marteau. And, you know, kicking up a little bit of dust right there. Marteau getting a good exit. Smith defending, heading into turn 2 right now. Smith on the inside, Marteau on the outside. And Smith able to make that move work. And this is very cool to see Aaron Smith, you know, getting the elbows out.
Yeah, well, he needs to make sure he doesn't make the same mistake they did on the last lap. And he needs to get stopped. But turn 3, Marteau tries to scare him away.
Oh, Marteau's dancing in his mirrors. That's what caused him last time. Even seeing Marteau in his mirrors, and it's like, oh, he's going to send it on me. And he just went a little bit wide. It didn't look like it was much of a mistake. It was just like, I'm just going to avoid this one. But Aaron Smith ain't falling for that trick anymore.
No, he's, seemingly wised up to it. I think these guys would be nose to tail to the end of the race. Spread out a little bit ahead of them. Beard now, has Beard just got past Reeve? He got past in the previous lap, so Beard up into 7th position, Reeve in a close 8th, and then of course these guys very close. Also Winkler and Leclerc quite close. Winkler recently getting past the Dominican Republic driver as here comes around the outside the car number 1. And
he's going to try
to make this one work, but it was always looking very low percentage from the moment he attempted, because he was always
Jack
behind.
Reeves had an incident up ahead.
Or Phil Hill corner.
Jack Reeve up ahead has had an incident. He's off the track, and that is the former amateur champion, amateur race leader. He's out of the race now in the final corner, and now the race leader goes to Brian Hoffman in that 213. This is what happened to Jack Reeve up ahead, heading into the final corner. I think he's just overcooked it off the ace, gun into the grass, and then hello back end, and goodbye back end, and especially goodbye that tire. And well, that's promoted Hotham up into 9th place, and Aaron Smith and Marteau collided. No, into turn 2, Marteau and Aaron Smith collided. It looks like Smith was on the inside and Marteau was on the outside. Let's get a replay of this. Coming out of turn 1, Smith and Marteau side by nose to tail right now. Smith defending onto the inside, Marteau on the outside. And Smith crossed over, and Marteau laid on the brakes, got into each other, and major contact. And that's promoted Andy Moore into 2nd place of the AMS race. And he's 10 seconds behind Hotham right now. But I can tell you, Hotham's heart is beating out of his chest. Andy Moore's heart is beating out of his chest. 2 amateur drivers in the top 10. And Marteau and Smith, they're still with each other. And we got 2 minutes left. They might have another incident. Hopefully they don't. But, you know, they're racing really hard. As speaking of really hard racing, Winkler and Leclerc are nose tail right now. They're chasing down Aaron Smith after that. I don't see any damage on either of those cars. But they're going to be... those tires are going to be really super heated up. So, yeah. But the way that they were fighting, it was bound to happen, honestly.
Oh yeah, definitely. There was no breaking them, was there? Neither could get away from one another, so it's just a matter of time. Really thought we might get a couple more laps in, but that was a shame. As nice move there from Winkler. That is textbook stuff. Getting the cutback, and he is up into 13th place past Leclerc. That's kind of what you'd expect. Winkler very under the radar tonight. He started this race in 12th place, so he finished in 12th in race 1, but that hasn't quite had the pace maybe that he would have wanted usually, or at least last season in the Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. Was faster than Sven Newman, but it seems
white
like
flag
Newman
is in the
had
air.
The pace on him tonight, as you're absolutely right. White flag out, and well, we've seen Redford spin out from the lead 3 times this season, so I'm honestly not counting.
we aren't writing it. We aren't writing it in stone yet, but you know, Will Redford started in 3rd place on the grid, 2nd place with Marteau starting from the pit lane due to his penalty, and you know, he started in 2nd place in race number 1. Went off after taking the lead on lap 1, off in turn 1, able to set fastest lap and get up into 6th place. at the end of race 1. I called it. He was the fastest guy on track, and he was the one to look out for in race number 2. Race number 2 took the lead again, made turn 1, didn't look back at all, taking race number 2 victory from start to finish. Will Redford Drive Dead Racing wins race number 2 here at Road America.
Olsen
Got the monkey
finishes
off
in a
his back
strong
right
second
there.
place. Yeah, Hotham will be top of the amateurs. It looks like, I believe this might be Grant Hotham's first ever amateur race win. I'm not sure about that one. That's just off the top of my head. Hopefully we'll have a chat with him and he can tell us all about it. Here he goes. He is going to take this race win, 17th in race 1, and it is 9th in race 2. Excellent work, kept it clean whilst others were making mistakes. Andy Moore finishes in 10th place. Marteau does finish, but it's a real rubbish evening for him in the end. That is very slow for Marteau, so he's actually let him back past Smith. That's quite interesting because it's clear that Marteau, he was responsible for that one, but I could kind of tell from your description of it, Austin, you didn't necessarily agree.
Well, Marteau, Smith got in front of Marteau in the break zone. Then Marteau, I guess, wasn't expecting Smith to come over, but he was the one that hit Smith. Because Smith was clear of Marteau when he came back across his nose, and Marteau sees that he was at fault, and he let him by for that. And well, it's good to see drivers settling disputes on track in a fair manner, gentleman way. Marteau realized that he was probably at fault. I should be ahead of him, and so he let him by. And I'm pretty sure that's one less protest you should see in the steward's room if they kept it like that.
I imagine so, as here comes Zuai and gaining huge amounts of time on Munoz.
Too late.
He was really struggling for some sort of reason in the closing stages, but he's got too much drag on that car. You can see when at the moment he tries to pull out. He just loses 8 straight line speed, and Munoz does take 20th place
that car.
as he tries to avoid hitting another car. I mean, personally, I thought that was, I mean, I can say now because it's not going to be protest, I thought that was probably Smith's faults, if anything, but well, yeah, was very gentlemanly there of Marteau. He felt like he could afford to drop that 1 extra point for probably avoiding a penalty potentially. As here is Pepper gonna do some donuts. This is his 4th race win of the season, I believe. I think he got 1 at meeting 2 last time out at Spa, if I recall correctly, and now he gets another one here. Really epic stuff from him. As a driver driving backwards, you know, Austin, how I have nightmares about that. So, fortunately, the race is well and truly over, and we don't have to worry too much about it, as he is going to do some donuts. Excellent stuff there from Will Redford, but unfortunately, he's still not writing anything. Still, no one has learned how to do that.
Yeah, but still, Will Redford and Drive Dead Racing burns it down here at Road America. As they celebrate a fantastic recovery drive in race number 1 and a brilliant race in race number 2. Will Redford getting the monkey off his back. That turn 1, that turn 1, what's the woes as he had here at Road America. Well, he certainly tackled that in race number 2. He takes the win. Tobias Olsen takes second position, followed by Nicholas Rasmussen. The 2 Alicatech teammates, second and third. It's in a 1-2-3 like they had in Spa last time by. They're followed by Sven Newman, Christopher Herberto, Justin Negrete, Florian Beer, and Christian Glamsetter, your top 10. Brian Hotham takes his first amateur victory in that 2:13, 9th place overall. They're followed by Andy Moore, Aaron Smith, Kutiaka Marteau, that gentleman's agreement in 11th and 12th, followed by Carl Winkler, Marcel Leclerc, Russ Fowler, Leonard Schnabel, Rickard Boberg, and Jesper Sandstrom in 18th. Behind them in 9th is going to be Jack Reeve, Jaden Munoz, Georgie Zulian, Konstantin Malashev, Max Giacchino, Brett Accord, Alex Roggenbuck, Valashev Potapenko, Nathan Nicholson, Jacob Fillmore, Kevin Slimstra, Jay Walsh, Christian Engelhart, and Max Bartolota. And I don't even think Max got onto the track. Yeah, Max didn't get onto the track at all today. So that was interesting to see. Didn't take the start of race number
think
2.
I think he did. Yeah, he spun
He did?
coming out of Canada. Remember that
Oh.
big blood up?
Well, I'm looking at
after-
our SDK Gaming software, and it hasn't shown him as getting out of the pits.
Yeah, it's a weird one. He's actually been put behind Engelhardt, so towing back to the pits, according to our software, not according to iRacing, but according to our live timing, as put him as completing no laps. So that was a little bit of a disappointment for him. As we should get some interviews with some drivers, and first up I will drag in Mr. Will Redford, because some things are certain in life: death, taxes, and Will Redford spinning out in the lead of the race. Because Will, come on, 3rd time this season. We were concerned about you. You recovered it very well, but once again it was a little bit of an accident through on lap 1 of race 1.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be an Apex F3 race if I didn't make a mistake in the lead, would it? Yeah, well, I don't have a racing driver excuse for that. I just tried to go too fast on cold tyres and round it goes. But we had a good recovery from there, and I had a chance of getting top 5, and then someone looped it in front of me on the second to last lap, so I had to avoid that. But it was an alright recovery, and it put me 3rd for race 2. But then Marto obviously has a pit lane start, so he put me 2nd instead. We had a great start, straight away into the lead, and then it was just a matter of keeping the pace up from there, and came away with the win.
Yeah, it was really strong pace for you throughout. You were running very low downforce, it looked like, especially in comparison to Olsen, for example. Was it tempting to go for maybe some higher downforce, or were you very confident with that kind of low downforce setup?
Yeah, so this setup is essentially the same setup I used last week for Spa. I've just made a few changes to it to suit this track. But it was always going to be low downforce, like that was the plan after I did some testing in the VRS conditions to beat the VRS lap, and obviously the early races in the week you sort of realise, okay, high downforce isn't going to be the play. You can get the same lap time with higher wings, but in a race you have no chance of getting past anybody, so there's no point really doing it. If you can get away with going low wing, then it's going to be the way to go.
Yeah, you certainly demonstrated that out there. Yeah, just keeping track position in that race 2, and then of course being able to make the overtakes in race 1 as well. There's a bit of a break now, unfortunately, because we don't host as many races over the Christmas period. We let you guys have a bit of time off. What are your sim racing plans? Well, what are your real life plans as well over Christmas, but what are your sim racing plans as well? Are you going to get some extra practice in, or just go for some manic races, or are you going to have a couple of weeks off?
Real life plans, just enjoy Christmas, obviously, as everyone else does. As for sim racing, I'll just keep doing daily races, keep doing the races during the week, and building my iRacing and whatnot. Doesn't really change much. It's just some days off college and some more time to race.
That sounds very good. And when are you back in a real racing car? Are you racing over the festive period or anything? And have you got much planned for the new year?
I'll be back in a real car at some point early next year, maybe January or February, for a scholarship competition with Team Hard. So yeah, that'll be fun. But as for what I'll be racing next year, we don't know yet.
Awesome. Well, we wish you the best of luck on that, Will, and of course best of luck for the rest of this season as well. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to you guys as always, especially Marco, the guy on the cameras. I've heard that it's his last day today, so big thanks to you for all that you do. Shout out to my older brother, it's his birthday today, so big shout out to him, and my dad, I'm pretty sure he's watching, and of course my team and my sponsors.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, Will, and we'll see you back next time.
Thank you.
Will Redford there, your race winner in race 2, and then also getting a 6th position in race 1, and might be the championship leader. I'm not entirely sure. Austin, you have got Nicholas Rasmussen to chat with.
Yes, I have. I am standing by with Nicholas Rasmussen. Well, it was P3 in the second race. P1, the race 1, it was 4th for you, but you were standing around there for most of the day today. how is racing around Road America?
Oh man, it's intense. I'm gonna need a shower after this. That is for sure. Yeah, obviously the draft is a huge part. The first race, I had a bit of a messy qualifying, so I think I started from P7 and kind of decided to hang back a bit, just to see how it would play out. And then obviously got into some extremely intense fighting out there on the track. Obviously, it's kind of telling that we are able to do this. Shows that the competition here is super strong, and there's mutual respect between the drivers up there, so that's super good, and that's what needed to race safely around here, because I think everybody out there was on a knife edge today, and at the end of the day, I'm happy with today's results, all things considered.
Well, it is a solid day for you today. You got a good points up there. Fourth and third is a very solid day. Everyone around you pretty much finished at the same spot. There was a few incidents around you, but what was the decision to go with the lower downforce than the higher downforce?
To go fast on the straight, basically. We decided to try and go with this because obviously it's very, very close with the two downforce configurations. If you have high downforce, you can, and are in the draft, you can still stick with people, and the carousel is much, much, much better with the higher downforce, and you're gonna get such a run out of there. But at the end of the day, we wanted raceability, which is why we went with the lower downforce. And it was tricky to drive for sure, especially on the opening laps with cold tires. But I think for us at least, it was certainly the right call.
They certainly did look like the right call. And was that a team decision?
I gotta give a huge shout out to both Kevin and Toby. I wasn't able to do as much testing this week as I would have liked, so they basically cooked up the setup, and I just got it as basically as a gift from them, basically, and that was their decision, and they obviously made some super work during the week on the set. So again, super appreciative to be part of such a good team in Alcantech NHR.
Well, Nicholas, before I let you go, I believe you were just giving the shout out to them, but if you have anyone else to shout out before you enjoy this break, who would that be?
That would be to a certain Marco, who has been in here in the commentary booth for the past 3 years. Marco, I know this is your last broadcast. Thank you so much for everything you've done for sim racing over the past 3 years. I think everybody has enjoyed tuning into Apex Racing TV. You've helped sim racing grow as a sport and as a hobby, and I wish you truly the best of luck with what you're gonna do next. Thank you so much for everything, and thanks to you, to everybody making the league happen. Enjoy the Christmas break, and see you after the new year. You're welcome, mate. Thank you.
Congrats on a great race, Nicholas, and we'll see you next time when we in the new year.
Will do. See ya.
And we do have one more interview, but it's going to be a little bit out of certain. Marco, I believe we have a few people that want to talk to you.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Lee Thompson here. Alex Simpson, interrupting your predetermined scheduled broadcast. I hope it's been a good Apex Racing Academy Formula 3 Super Series so far, guys.
It was,
action-packed.
Awesome. Marco, we just wanted to jump in very quickly just to reiterate what the guys have been saying in YouTube chat all night, and I heard Nicholas, in fact, very kindly saying on his last interview there that we just wanted to thank you again very much for all your hard work over the years. So I feel like my estimate was pretty good. What do you think? I made it around 700 to 750 broadcasts, I think, that you've done in your time. Is that about what you think as well?
Yeah, it was something like that. I never had the courage to go and look how many they were, but I mean, it's a fair estimate in my opinion, and I loved every one of them, so I can't complain.
And I think the customers loved him as well. So whether so for the viewers out there, whether Marco was dealing with a kind of a small little community league, or was dealing with some big corporate kind of sponsor or league organizer in the background, people like Dinner with Racers and World Karting Association, they always raved about Marco. Always got amazing feedback, and frankly, Marco, for some of those bigger events especially, were kind of a big part of the reason why they'd come back to us, because Marco had left such a lasting impression on them. So like I say, thank you very much, Marco. Much appreciate the time that you've had and maybe I'll shut up for a second as well, let Alex jump in with his initial thoughts as well.
Thanks, Lee. Hi Marco. What to say, really? It's tough. We did our first few broadcasts, all those years back now, and I can't honestly imagine Apex Racing TV without you now. It's kind of you're part and parcel of the furniture here, just absolute workhorse, so professional in everything you do, and you've helped out in loads of different areas of Apex as well. I really just can't thank you enough. I was trying to wrap my brain of when we first did some work together. I mean, I can't honestly remember. There's been so many times and there's been a lot of sleep since then as well, but I just can't ever imagine having to show you kind of how to use the overlay software and get the streaming up there. You're always the go-to man now, just to kind of get everything working and get everybody all kind of set up. So it's just crazy. Like I said, I can't thank you enough for all the hard work and effort that you've put in over the years. It's just been it's been amazing.
I remember the first one we did together was Euro V8 at Circuit of the Americas, which is a bit worrisome that I remember. So.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Yes, of course.
The first one
of the Americas. Yeah.
Yes, and that was 2 weeks after the first one with Sam and Samuli at the Batursay, if I'm not mistaken. That was the very first one. The original broadcast, and yeah. So, I mean, what else can I say? I really can't thank you enough, guys, because I have a bad relationship with long-lasting commitments in all aspects of my life. So the fact that I almost clocked 4 years here speaks volumes of how well I felt with you guys. This is a fantastic group. I met some fantastic people. I was able to, I mean, it was all worth it. I'm not saying that it was hard. On the contrary, it was very, very nice and easy every time. It became like second nature. And at the end of the day, after all this experience, having been able to talk to you daily, and of course, all the guys that I've commentated and broadcasted with over the years have a special place in my heart. At the end of the day, I know it's small things, but I can say, what? I shared the commentary booth with Paul Page, and I talked to some absolute legends of the sport. So it went well beyond my wildest dreams all those years ago. And I actually, I always wanted to get into some of this, but I sent some emails in the months previous to other companies, and I always said to them, I am not a native speaker, so beware. And that was probably a big turn off, because nobody ever answered to me. And the funny thing is that one night I was coming back home, and a guy that you might know, Alex and Lee, Michele Costantini, told me, Marco, Apex has an opening, message them. It's funny how things went full circle with him then after that. Yeah. And I sent a message and I said, not a native speaker, and they're never going to answer me. And then the next day you said, tomorrow we have an opening for a trial during the Euro V8, so you want to do it? I mean, yes. Yes. And that was the beginning of it. So thank you for giving me the opportunity, because a lot of other people didn't. So I'm eternally grateful for that.
No, we're great. We're great for Marco. Marco, you got to promise us one thing though. When all of this pandemic thing has finished, you've got to come over and see us in Corby. We've got to get you up on that stage one time at least to do one more broadcast, because you are part of the reason that we are able to push on to that next stage in kind of our development for Apex Racing TV. So it'd be an absolute travesty not to have one of the main people responsible for all the hard work be represented kind of on that stage and in that studio just one time. So yeah, so at some point you need to get over here into the UK, and we need to kind of get you up on there. I think that would be an awesome thing to happen, and however we can help to facilitate that, we absolutely will.
I already had a visit to Corby on my bucket list, even without the special broadcasting, but even better now. So yeah, absolutely, I was already looking forward to it. So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. Now I look forward to it. I think we got a few other people that perhaps want to pop in and say a message or two as well.
Oh my God! Look at the people in here. What happened? I got distracted for a second.
Look at all this love.
Hey. Hello, Marco.
Hello everyone. Marco. I mean, you can't see it right now, but the commentary box is like full of people, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I'm speechless, so I let you talk. Oh, there's even Daledon in here. Wow.
Yeah, please, someone let him.
Yeah.
He talks too much.
He snuck in here. Well, Marco,
it got quiet real quick, didn't it?
Yeah, it got quiet real quick, but...
For once, Marco Barbonera is speechless.
Oh my God. Somebody clip it. Somebody clip it right now.
Well, Marco, before I have to hop off for Formula 3.5 soon, I wanted to say it's been a blast commentating with you. Ever since we had that first broadcast together where I famously butchered your name for about 6 months, you and I, you're one of my best friends out there, and I always love talking sports with you, hockey, racing, and everything, and I'm going to miss you, buddy.
I'm going to miss you too. I'm going to miss everyone. Everyone, the ones that did 100 broadcasts, 200, 300 broadcasts, the one that did like 4 or 5, it doesn't matter. It's always... It's a big, I can have so many memories and think about everyone in here fondly from beginning to the end. So again, yeah, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. I keep repeating myself, but this is true. So thank you.
Who's got some Marco memories that they wanna share?
Well, I'll let you go first, Dennis. If you want.
Okay, because I've got to jump off with Austin and do 3.5 in a second as well. Yeah, Marco and Alessandro at the 6-hour Sim Racers for Mental Health arguing about who's got the best IKEA chair. It's just, yeah, that'll stick with me for quite a while.
Yeah, because it's a racing chair,
Absolutely.
I won because I have still that chair, while Marco changed it for a gaming chair. So
see, he
started a war again, Dennis.
He sold out to the man.
Yes,
geez.
I did.
All my respect is all gone.
Alright,
what's next?
We'll let you guys hop off to the 3.5 broadcast.
Yeah, Marco, we love you, and we hope we don't be a stranger.
No, don't worry. That's never going to happen.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'll see you around, too, Marco. We'll talk wrestling some other time and argue about football relegation.
Thank you, guys.
See you later, buddy.
Good luck in 3.5.
I'd also like to say, obviously, I joined Apex Racing TV, and I also joined as an admin midway last year. First person I spoke to was Marco, trying to take me under his wing, help me through, aka the paint man. That's all he very much seemed to do in admin world over there. But obviously he was on my first broadcast on the Formula 3 actually with GP Fun. So yeah, that was quite good fun. Bit nervous for me. Marco took me under the wing, just told me to, you know, take it easy. Was quite impressed with my Italian pronunciation until the next round, and I got it absolutely terribly wrong, and I went down in his estimation. But, you know, Marco, from me, thank you very much, mate. It's been a pleasure doing a broadcast with you. You are going to be sadly missed within this organisation, and I very much count you as a friend, mate. So good luck with whatever you take in the future, mate.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you. You've been fantastic inspiration to me, and you are awesome at using Excel. So you helped me a lot of times with that. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'll bring it back to your first ever broadcast, Marco, which you'll remember well. It was Supercars at Bathurst, obviously. And my overriding memory, I think it was the first time I'd ever done like a lead commentary, so I was hopeless, and you were already on your first broadcast for probably better commentator than myself. And then I imagine you remember this, I had a connection failure halfway through race 2, and in your first ever broadcast you had to solo commentate for probably 5-10 minutes, which I'm sure a lot of people after about 6 months would struggle to do such a thing. But you were straight away on it. I think you were quite nervous, but you did very well with it regardless. And yeah, I think from that moment onwards, you were absolutely awesome. And also, we will also thank you for doubling the Apex Racing TV female subscriber count with your exotic accent. We do now have 2 female subscribers. So massive thanks to that one, all down to yourself. But no, it will be. But I honestly cannot imagine Apex Racing TV without yourself. And yeah, you've been absolutely fantastic. And all the late night broadcasts you've done, like most broadcasts on Apex Racing TV over like the last 4 years. So absolutely huge thanks.
Thank you, Sam. I will never forget that moment because you went quiet, and then there was like 10 seconds of silence, and then Samuli said, "I think some connection has dropped." Like, okay, well, this leaves me with very little options, you know. So
yeah, but it wasn't the only occasion. I don't think, Marco. So, but yeah, I mean, to continue from that, I think like, yeah, it was impressive, like how you handled it back then. Like, of course, I was a bit worried that okay, we have new guy doing solo, but it was just flawless from the start, I would say. And to just from my view, from my side, it would be an understatement to say that you have been a huge help taking on the broadcast and everything else, because like, of course, for me, I couldn't do as much anymore, so, and then you took on a huge out there, and just basically I think you've done most of the broadcasts for the past few years, so that's it. Just huge thanks to that and being part of the team.
I mean, thanks to you, Samuli. You taught me everything I know. So, I mean, if I didn't have a good base, I wouldn't have gone nowhere. So, thanks for the patience, you know. Samuli used to send me after my first month of broadcasting, like only doing the camera stuff. He used to send me the next day a very detailed report of, you know, what went wrong or what went well. And so that was absolutely key into my like, you know, the thing that I have, and Lee knows this, my allergy towards putting too many putting too many stuffs on the screen at the same time, you know. I think Samuri told me less is more a million times, and it really stuck with me. And I understood the value after a few days of having a clean screen that's not cluttered and leaves more you know, space for the cars and the viewers to enjoy the action. One of the many lessons that I learned over the years that absolutely helped me.
He's still doing it, Marco, so don't worry about it.
I'm sure he does, because it's like, you know, good lessons. It's good things to learn, you know, for the future.
Yeah, and the upcoming broadcaster can then take a look at your broadcast to see, okay, this is the amazing Italian broadcast that we have. This is the standard that you have to live up to.
Hey Marco, it's Adam here, man. Just wanted to hop in here real quick and say a few things. I haven't been around Apex as long as a lot of these guys in here have, man. But you know, starting from last season, the one thing that stood out to me was one of the dirt road races we did at the end of the season, and when it started throwing yellows for no reason, and I was losing my mind. And you know, someone pulled me up into the booth after you guys went to a commercial, and Marco, you were just so extremely calm about it. You're going, no, it's okay, it's fine, don't worry about it. And then you know, we got through that race, calming me down. I think it actually took me, I think you brought me to a win there, just because I was so flustered. So thank you for that. And also your commentary on one of those dirt races, man, that was probably the most fun any of the guys in Cross Series League Racing had listening to your commentary, because as you got more excited, the R started to roll even more. It was the funniest thing for everybody to listen to. We listened to it. We probably watched the broadcast 4 or 5 times back, man, just to listen to Marco. So Marco, thank you so much for everything that you've done for Apex, but also for Cross Series League Racing. And you know, best of luck in all your future endeavors, and thank you as well for helping me out on my first broadcast last weekend and getting me all squared away. And you're gonna be missed, man. I don't know you as well as a lot of these guys do, but you know, I know you well enough to know that you're one of the good ones.
Thank you so much, Adam. I wish that reverse psychology worked on me when I'm racing, you know, but no. I can't calm myself to race victories.
Well, it helped me. That's all that matters.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in a bit. Sorry, Johan, I might just jump in. Marco, it's obviously your favorite Irish guy of all time, obviously. But I've been here nearly 2 years now, but it's been amazing working with you on, I think absolute highlight has got to be Super Trucks. Doing that every single week. And what made it for me is, you know, Austin will, obviously he's not on the box with us now, but I think Austin will back me up on the fact that what made that Super Truck series even better was having you also shouting as loudly as us into our ears, enjoying the racing, and the passion and the drive that you have, the commitment you have, is incredible. And I think Apex wouldn't. I don't think it's definitely not going to be the same without you. Broadcasts for you were so enjoyable to do. So. Thank you for all that you've done. Thanks for helping me out as well. And we're all going to miss you, Marco, but thank you for everything you've done.
You know, thanks a lot. I mean, I was thinking today, like randomly, you know, Jack, what was the difference? You know, you don't always have, not every broadcast is created equal. So I was thinking some broadcasts you just, you know, focus on the lead cars. There might be a battle. The race is very linear. And then I said, what is the opposite of that? And to my mind, the first thing that came, super trucks. You know, with the cars cutting left and right, so the cameras were struggling to keep up. You know, every 2 seconds there was an overtake or a flip, or someone would take a crazy line, timing would show the cars together. Then the guy would like be stuck in the grass, and the other guy would run away. You know, it certainly was one of those series where I didn't know that my right index finger was going to make it until the end of the broadcast. So yeah.
We also found out Sam Fitzpatrick is an expert at cutting corners.
And driving backwards, especially driving backwards. He's the best.
Quiet. I can't wait for you to leave, Marco, if you keep making
Whoa! Wait!
I'm going to continue the series of J's. So Marco, it's Johan here. And I only joined recently, but when I joined, I kind of came from solo commentating and broadcasting. I think the first stream that I joined with you was the Norwegian Blue Sector League, and I remember just having you in our ear, kind of pointing out things happening, and it kind of felt like I was sitting in some kind of F1 production with the producer kind of giving me the pointers. So I was massively impressed. But yeah, it's just been awesome working with you in the short time I've had with you. I even had to your streams were so good I kind of had to join them directly in the commentating booth. So sorry about that one. But yeah, it's been awesome working with you, and I wish you all of the best for the future.
Jon, it's been a pleasure working with you, of course. Sorry for mistaking you for being German the first time I met you. The name really caught me off guard. I'm usually good with these things. But yeah, for those that don't know, the other night we had prototypes from Sebring, and Jon mistakenly went into our commentary box where me and Austin were there. And jumps in and says, "Guys, what are you guys broadcasting?" So I immediately moved him down, but instead I moved down myself as well. So I jump in there. It was also Andy waiting there as an in-race reporter. So hello, chaps. So everyone heard that as well. And then I left Austin alone, so Austin was talking to nobody in the meantime. So that was one of the greatest moments ever.
Typical.
Keep you on your toes, eh?
Well, Austin knows how to talk to himself quite well.
No way.
True story.
Facts.
Hey, Marco, this is Jonathan.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I'll chip in right now. I just want to say thank you for being a great mentor, especially doing the broadcasting side. I remember being a little frustrated because I left the stream on for a little bit one time, and you saying, "Don't worry, I did it. I left it on for 4 hours after this race had ended." So, you're an amazing broadcaster, even greater guy. I'll miss a lot of stuff. Even though you support really terrible sports teams. Favorite broadcast is definitely, we did Sim Racers for Mental Health Indy 500 this past May, and you were a nut. I think the sun was coming up by the time we finished, and you're just a great person, Marco. You've been an absolute pleasure to work with, so you'll be missed.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thanks a lot, and thanks for I've also worked as a part-time travel guide for Jonathan. I don't know if people know this, so I helped him plan some trips to Italy, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that was Dennis, I think.
That was Dennis, you're right.
Various food options.
The food options, yeah, of course. You are right. You are absolutely right. Food options, of course, the Italian restaurants, how legit they are in North America. So, what better person than me to ask that, despite me being a terrible cook. Jonathan, fantastic working with you, and, you are absolutely... really the Apex Racing TV version of Scott Goodyear with your voice. Absolutely fantastic stuff. I wish you...
about that.
We should do some more commentary because incredibly relaxing working with Jonathan. Absolutely fantastic.
Well, before I get on my flight, I just got into Chicago. I'm on a layover, so I was like, made sure I jumped in. Marco, it's Avery, man. You set the bar high for broadcaster, commentator, and people in general. I think the biggest thing I learned from you that is every race and every broadcast is as important as every other one. So you always come in with that mindset, and everybody just comes in and try to do a good job. And my goal every race was to get you to laugh, and I think I did that about 9 times out of 10. So I'll take the 90%. But man, congrats on a great run. 4 years, a ton of races, ton of broadcasts. Little mistakes, but man, you rocked it every single time. It was just an honor to be in the comms room with you. Really gave me some confidence when I knew I knew when I saw your name on the Google Calendar that you were on the broadcast, man. So pleasure to meet you. I know I'll probably make it over to across the pond again and try to meet up with you. So. Congrats on a great run, and good luck to you in your future, man.
Thank you, Avery. It's been fantastic, and of course, I remember us behind the scenes during the broadcast always making reference to the various colleges. It's always fun, when we have that knowledge, and of course your stories about your real life, high school and college sports coverage was always interesting You know that, and I remember fondly that season we did 3.5 together with Austin. That was a lot of fun. That was great fun. Especially because you are such a good test driver. Before every race, you test out the track thoroughly, so you know all the secrets.
Yep. I definitely test the tracks out thoroughly. So, well, I gotta get on my plane boards in about 20 minutes. So have a good one, y'all.
Thank you. But by the way, this broadcast is still live, so it still keep on going. So just
it's live. I'm at the Chicago airport, so
perfect.
I gotta go to South Dakota where it's really cold. So later, y'all. Have a good broadcast.
Thank you. I want to share my memory with Dane, who's been awfully quiet. Dane,
I have a question first, though.
Yes,
is Sam Fitzpatrick getting paid for this extra hour?
I don't know.
Betcha.
You claim an extra...
He'll book it.
I was about to say, I'll let you know if it's on the invoice or not.
We can stay here forever. I already sent mine with the extra broadcast for season 1, so it's okay. But Dane,
hello.
It was really nice to see you blossom as a commentator, especially given our first encounter was the magic Imola broadcast when Austin's connection fell and Dane was left alone, just in my situation. And Dane, who had been non-stop talking as a second commentator the whole race, all of a sudden went a bit quiet, and I was getting worried. And then Lee messages me, Marco, there's a ton of dead air. Is everything okay? But I knew that Dane had potential, so I remember, I think I wrote you something after the broadcast or told you something. I'm not taking credit for any of that, of course, but I knew you had something in you, and so it's been a pleasure to see you really blossom into one of the best. So, of course I have memories for everyone, but for Dane, since he was quiet, I needed to, bring him into the conversation.
Pulled you in a reverse card on me.
Yes, exactly.
This is supposed to be us talking about our stories with you, not the other way around. But that was a really bad one as well, because it was at the start lights. So Austin's speaking, he's talking about the grid, he's hyping up the race. Red lights come on, and then his internet just died. And of course he has no way of telling us that, so I'm just waiting for him to speak. And he just never does. I just keep waiting. He's going to speak at some point, surely. I don't want to speak over him. And in that was my second broadcast ever. And in my first broadcast, I was with Wayhan when he had a bunch of delay. So I was worried about the delay and then starting to speak over someone. So just waiting. And then Lee messaged you and was like, there's a bunch of dead air. And then I started speaking. And then about halfway through the lap, I think I ran out of breath or something, and you just took over like that. I didn't know you were going to do that. And that was very appreciated, because it went on for about 10-15 minutes before Austin eventually got back on.
I like to play the surprise card every once in a while, and if I get a chance at commentary, I will never, I would never say no, so, I'm waiting in the wings, and, but yeah, thankfully you really came out of your shell and made a pretty good name for yourself, which makes me very happy.
Oh, thank you for all of your help as well. You've been a massive help to me. Also with my own little broadcasting ventures, with my little AI series that I do with a few mates. You've done a lot of help. You've given me a lot of help with how SDK works and stuff like that. Really invaluable. And just in general, especially with the Apex Racing League admin side of things, getting me out of trouble a bunch of times there. So yeah, loads of amazing memories with you. My biggest memory of you though, which is gonna sound really weird, is a broadcast that we didn't do together. It was, you might know what it is already, because this is like top 5 famous Marco Barbanera moments. Is the IndyCar Open broadcast from 2019 season 4 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and right at the end with that big wreck with like all of the top 6.
How can I forget that?
No!
Oh man, yeah, yeah.
I was in that race, I think.
Yes, you were. But yeah, it was. What a night that was, and the fact that this year we did in the Open, in the IndyCar Open Series on the exact same day of that race, thankfully with a much calmer, finish. It was quite poetic way to, to do it. But yes, that was Joshua Lee's first broadcast also. So it was, a lot of things that my power supply died and then resurrected midway through the race, then died immediately after the checker flag. So yeah, and I know a lot of the drivers in the Indy Open community that still periodically rewatch that broadcast to this day. Such was the levels of shenanigans in that event.
I would just like to quickly bring up Joshua Lee because he is very ill at the moment, which is why he's not come to say his thanks to you, but I'm sure he's got a very similar story to me there.
Thank you, Joshua as well. Sent me a message yesterday, so much appreciated from him. So I think that's everyone, right? Mark is keeping quiet, of course. I understand him. And Daledonne, of course. Oh, there's also David. I didn't see him as well.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't say anything. I came in just to make sure that Marco was surviving the entrance of us all, and eventually just to make sure to contact someone in his family.
No,
I was kind of worried.
Everything
but
is okay.
But he took it quite well. I was actually surprised.
Thank you. It's nice to have people that care for you.
No,
Awesome.
I'll just quickly say, I haven't been around long, but it's been a pleasure working with you. You've been professional every time I've worked with you, and hopefully all the best for the future. And, you'll be back in a year's time, so it doesn't matter. You won't be able to stay away.
I think we can hear David's newborn baby just very quietly in the background. So just a quick congratulations to David from everyone there.
Thank you. I didn't realise he was being so loud.
Don't worry, Simuli will give you some tips on how to get that sorted.
It's all right. It's an ex-producer getting ready.
Thank you, David. I mean, there are some people that are already making bets as to when I'll be back in the commentary box. But there's one thing I know that you have to know when it's time to take a break. So I think this is the best time. I'm not happy about it, but it's good in the long run. And who knows what might happen in the future. So you listen to Alex. I at least have one more done from Corby. So yeah, make your bets basically.
I already done them.
Awesome. Well, let's say again a final thanks from everyone at Apex to Marco, and thanks for everyone else to join in to send him off well. I think, Marco, it's probably time to hit that end stream button for the last time for now, at least.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to all the viewers, the spectators, and most importantly, you guys that have joined in to keep me company for this final few minutes and share the memories. What can I say? Thanks a lot, and as per usual, I wish you a good night and happy racing. Bye bye.